Is this thing working?
Is it? Are we on?
Are we on?
Princess, say hi.
How are we doing? All right, we're trying to get this thing rolling. I think we're live.
We think we're live.
We think.
We're definitely alive.
We're alive.
I feel alive.
All right, I am trying to load this up on my website as well.
How does it work?
And we are gonna figure it out.
Hey, somebody's looking forward to meeting with us.
Yay, Josh. Yay, it's lagged. That's hilarious.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Okay, so we're up and live.
Oh, it is a lag. That's weird.
Okay. So I have my laptop set up over here, so that's why I'm looking this way, because this is where we're reading your questions from. So anyways, I am James Ellis, and this is
David Kimmerle.
That's right, and we're loving our sponsors, so that's why we're wearing this great stuff. Yeah. So, and I got even a little Shield to Strength action, a little Wellgraph watch. I mean, I'm just like a walking billboard, folks. So, SciTech Nutrition, loving it.
I want to see your watch.
They all help pay the bills. So, David and I love our sponsors, and we love you guys because you guys support us as well. We appreciate all your support. We appreciate you being here. Because you know what? If you weren't here, it'd be David and I, and that's really freaking boring. I mean,
We've got hundreds of hours of that.
Yeah. When it's just David and I, it's boring.
We don't even talk.
When you guys are here, we're amped, right?
Yes.
Well, and Princess too.
Princess already said hi.
Princess said hi already.
She's mad. She got a haircut.
For those of you wondering, Princess is David's dog.
That's my dog.
And
I'd like to tell the story about Princess.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of crap walking down the street with my 7-pound dog, and long story short, I looked everywhere for a little dog that about a 30-pound dog that wasn't going to shed, and I didn't want a large dog. I've had one, and in the city it doesn't work because the poos are just bigger. You have to pick up more poo. So with the black couch, we wanted a little dog that wouldn't, once again, shed, white on everything. So I looked and looked and looked. Finally, we found her in a rescue. She's supposed to be a golden doodle. Well, I buy this golden doodle, and a week and a half, 2 weeks later, I'm getting her fixed up, haircut, whatnot. And the guy comes in and says, "What kind of dog is that? You get a little Pomeranian." I don't even know what little kind of dogs there are, but you got one of these little poodle things. And I said, "No, man, this could be a 30-pound dog. She's going to run up the mountain with me. She's going to play with me, catch a Frisbee with me, all that fun stuff." And he looked at me and says, like I was an idiot, like, "That's a foo-foo dog, man." I said, no, that's a golden doodle. Like, it's a new, and he's been cutting dogs forever. And he said, "No, that's a foo-foo dog." And I argued with him for about 2 minutes, and I realized, wait a second. He might know what he's talking about, and I have a foo-foo dog. And I thought about it. I'm going to take this dog back. How do you take a dog back? So we had already named her Princess. I was already working on my love for her. She wasn't being super friendly. She didn't like the fact that I took her from her home. So I was already kind of invested somewhat. And I thought about it and went, you know what? Symbolically, my parents didn't get, maybe the kid they thought they were going to get or however you word that. They didn't take me back. So you know what? I am now a muscle guy with a 7-pound foo-foo dog named Princess.
All right. So
are we ready?
I'm hoping that this is a better connection for you guys than it is for me, because it's pretty slow for me. It looks like it's just lagging like crazy, and that could just be because I need a new computer.
Dude, that thing
looks
like
yeah, I mean it's very, very massive. It's an 18.5-inch widescreen monster of a beast. But hopefully you guys are getting a better signal than us. If not, then hopefully my buddy Chris Walker or Renee will text me and say, "Hey, this signal is awful," and
you guys suck.
Let us know what's going on. Yeah.
This is our first one, guys. Don't judge us.
Yeah, it's our first one, so we do appreciate our web guy being here, our editor, and he's the man. So he helped us get it going. We had a plug-in issue. We were hoping to be on here at like 5:45. And there was an issue with the plugins and all that.
But you know what, guys? We really do know how to build muscles. Yep. We know how to thin skin. Yep. We know the proper mentality of how to make yourself eat what you're supposed to and how not to eat what you're not supposed to. So this technological, however you word those multiple syllable word stuff, we're not good at.
Yep. And that's and we don't have to be good at it. That's not our job.
Now we do.
Well, yeah.
We should get better.
Sorry,
we're getting better.
So I want to just do a quick shout out, a hello to Eric Mullins. Thank you so much for all
Very
of your support.
Appreciate
We appreciate you being in this Google Hangout with David and I. Of course, Christopher Walker. He's awesome, and he helps us a lot with web design and all kinds of good stuff. He's a brilliant dude. We have Eric is in from Ohio, the Midwest. Yeah, shout out to the Midwest. I came from Indiana, Midwest. He's got a late one. We got Josh Connor, and he's looking forward to getting together the fitness icons. I love it.
Chicago, that's cold, man. How are you doing it?
Yeah.
Great t-shirts.
Chicago. Wow, that's crazy. So probably a few more in here, and if you're in here, let us know. We want to hear from you. We want to know that you're joining us. We want to hear your questions, so feel free to ask us your questions. And while we're waiting, and I know that there is a little bit of a lag, so I think we're like at least probably 30 seconds to a minute ahead of everybody.
Nobody's ever said I'm 30 seconds ahead of you.
30 seconds ahead of you.
Wow.
So,
well, I'm going to ask you a question, James.
Yeah.
How did you really decide that you were going to California? Now, this is always, I like to ask this question because I felt like such a pompous guy. You're trying to look a certain way, and then you decide, well, maybe I do look that way, and I'm going to go to Hollywood and sell me and my body and my effort. Like, what is mentally, what are you thinking when you get on the plane and you leave your family, got a good spot out in Indiana? What goes to your mind? And having come here and not being an ass, I don't mean to say that, guys, no profaning in our family show, but
yeah.
Somehow you came out here, and we've all met somebody that says, hey, everybody look at me. And we're trying to be guys that says, yeah, look at me when I'm getting paid, and otherwise you can have the attention. How did you do that?
Sorry, I keep looking back and forth because
that's okay.
Looking at the other monitor, the questions and things of that sort. And while I'm doing that, actually, David, you can kind of scan through. I refreshed it, and it looks like it's working a little better.
All right.
You can press play there too. So, anyways, I think the better question is, what was I not thinking? Was I thinking at all? Was I thinking at all
now that you know what you know? Yeah. You have to delete what you know now.
Yeah.
What were you thinking then?
For me, it was, I graduated from Indiana State University, and I do want to get into our testimonies later to our stories of where we came from and things like that. I think that would be fun. But to step forward into the college years, I graduated from Indiana State University with a degree in elementary education, a minor in PE, and as you'll learn later, I was a scrawny kid growing up. I graduated high school about 135 pounds, 130 nothing, pretty much, not much weight on me, not much muscle on me. I decided to make a change. I mean, I was getting swirlies, and, I was getting picked on all the time.
Swirly?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I was getting swirlies, and
that's in the snow, or that's in the toilet?
In the toilet. So in high school, it was rough. I mean, I ran cross country. Let's put it this way. I ran cross country, and cross country guys are not big guys. And, when you get bullied by the cross country guys, then there's probably a problem. It wasn't uncommon for me to get pushed into the pond while running by it, to get swirlies by the cross country team, just to get picked on in general. And then when I played basketball, it wasn't any better. I mean, I had people, peeing on my clothes in the shower. It was not a fun situation. So by the time I graduated high school, which I barely graduated because I just had such a low self-esteem and walked with my head down in the hallways and just got picked on too much, and it killed me really. So I got into bodybuilding in college, and that's kind of what changed my direction in life and everything. And I actually had an interview coming out on Saturday. I was interviewed by ESPN Radio, so you guys can hear more about my story there. But because it was kind of a story about my life. But after I graduated with a degree in elementary education, a minor in physical education, decided I wasn't ready to do that. I'd won 2 bodybuilding shows in college because I'd bulked up over those 4 or 5 years. And I decided just to make the move to California. I had a best friend that lived out in San Diego, so I lived in San Diego for 2.5 years. And after 2.5 years there, I was getting busy enough for the modeling and acting that I made the move to LA. And that's where I'm at right now. So really enjoying it out here. It's definitely, if you can't handle rejection, it's probably not the best business for you, because we get rejected more times than we get told no more times than we get told yes. So it's not an easy life. But you know what? If you can persevere through it, then you're better.
Okay, so you've built yourself, you've been through all this, your self-esteem can't be that great.
Yeah.
How do you, and guys, this is symbolic. The reason why I'm bringing this up is it could be you want to be a banker and start your own bank. It could be you've been swinging a hammer and you want your own construction company. Now whatever your insecurity is, and we just described why he might have some, how did you decide to turn your insecurity into a business?
Yeah. It all comes down to, and hopefully I'm not too far away from the mic. It comes down to, you have to use as weird as it sounds, you have to use that insecurity. I don't want to say to your advantage. It sounds weird. I guess what created the insecurities is the question. What created the insecurities is people's lack of faith in me, which created a lack of faith in myself. So it's basically other people's doubts, that give you that insecurity, because if you don't have other people believing in you and speaking you up, then, and that could be because you just haven't proven yourself to them. But when it comes down, it comes around full circle. And once you are like, you know what, I'm going to use other people's doubts as fuel to drive me towards success. Yeah. And so it's like, it's like pulling up to, anybody that's talking you down. You have to take that as they're just inserting fuel. Like if you were a car, inserting fuel into your car to make you drive further, push harder. And instead of allowing it to push you down and stomp on you, use it as fuel to drive you further, to prove people wrong. And I guess that kind of answers your question. I kind of spun it around a little bit. I said, you said, how do I use insecurities to drive me? But it's when it comes down to it, it's using people's doubt, people that don't believe in me, to just say, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong. You've just given me a reason, a bigger reason.
Well, that's an optimistic point of view. Yeah. Swirly is turning into a reason, is being pretty optimistic and looking for fuel where others might not. And guys, the reason why I wanted to start with that is because sometimes things seem overwhelming.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know where your fuel is going to come from. That could be at the gym or to continue to work or to deal with your kids, whatever it is. And if looking for gratitude, if you can look far enough, even into gratitude about being punked or being picked on, and turn that into a positive and get fuel from it. I mean, you could get fuel from your dad said you did good. That's a positive fuel. Or your dad said you suck. That's, a negative, but you could also pull fuel from it. So anyway, we've got some people getting on us here. Craig White, cover man of himself. We got to love this guy. Big shout out to Craig White. Yeah. Get a lot of romance novel covers with that guy. I have to explain quite a bit of.
Good to have Craig in the group.
You know what? Craig said he was getting sorry. He sent me an email and he said, dude, wrecked. So that's awesome. Mr. Phil Marvin, I want to thank you for your time. And I know you both work very hard to be fit. Obviously, you make it look easy. Buddy, eat that obviously word and shove it down your own throat. I love you. I've never met you, but no, obviously. Not obviously. We try to make it look real, and sometimes it could look easy. But as we're doing those workouts, you see my sweat hitting the TV. I had to wipe it off. You see James just busting butt. It's easy is relative. So please, please, please do not think that you're suffering any more or any more than us, because you're not.
Yeah.
That's the cool thing about the heart rate monitor, right? Yeah. It judges your resistance.
Absolutely.
How do I know that James feels 166 heart rate more painful than I do?
Yeah.
That's
good.
Anyway, I like his question. How can the mental part is the hardest for me. Mm-hmm. Whether it be like we've discussed before, how can I overcome that? James, what do you think?
Oh, wow. That's actually a really good question. And the mental is very important. And if my other side of the business, obviously David and I are doing things together as well. And, you're on the website right now, most of you, some of you guys might be on Google Plus, but, our hurt to hit, our hit band workouts, those are, first of all, before I get to that, I do, my web guy told me to make sure that I mention that to you guys that we are doing a sale again. We're doing our opening sale again at $47 for these things. So you can save yourself some money if you buy right now just during the time that we're in this room. So it's good that I actually stopped now to tell you guys that, because this deal dies down. It's done as soon as we're done with this Google Chat. So
and while we do that, I want to take a chance for both of us and say thank you for those of you who have purchased and you're using this as a chance to ask us some questions about the training, about some of the diet. This is a chance to really ask us anything, guys, and we're going to unload on you. So we appreciate you that are joining this team and this movement we're trying to make here. So anyway, mental, buddy, how do you get him to shut the fridge when it's open?
That's what I was getting into. The other side of what I do, and we're actually kind of incorporating it into what David and I do. The videos have been successful. We've done really well, so we're hoping to do some more, and we do have plans on that. So we will incorporate kind of my mentality. We're going to mix my mentality and David's mentality and some of the things we're going to do together in the near future. But my James Ellis Fit website, that's what it's all about too. It's about being healthy. What is fit to James Ellis is being mentally, spiritually, and physically fit. And the mentally side is key. I mean, and the mentally side is on you. I mean, nobody's going to, people can talk you up and try to boost your mentality and help you to be more healthy mentally. But when it comes down to it, you have to believe in yourself. And I always think back to the old Mad TV thing, when the guy's in the mirror and he says, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me.
Affirmations, I'm telling you, they work.
Yeah, what was that, Stuart Smalley or something like that? So me coming from a spiritual side, in Scripture it talks about the tongue has the power to speak life and death. And if I'm getting ready to get on bench press and I'm about to max out the most I've ever done, I'm putting 400 pounds on there. That makes me feel good. I'm putting 400 pounds on there. David's spotting me, and he's trying to amp me up, and I'm
You're screwed.
He's spotting me, and I'm like sitting there. I sit down. I'm like, he's trying to amp me up, and I'm like, I'm just not really feeling good today. I'm
not training with you.
I don't. Yes. And if my attitude's like, I don't think I'm going to get this. So just really be sure to spot me. I'm pretty sure I won't get it. Like, do you think I'm going to bench 400 pounds? Am I going to do my max when that was my attitude sitting down? So your attitude going into the gym needs to be that of, I can do this. I will do this. Not even I can do this. I am doing this. So you really got to change that. And you have to go in there with that winner's mentality. You're a champion. And I know we have down days, but it even goes further than talk, than speaking. The negativity, your thoughts, you need to even change your thoughts and start believing in yourself. And I know that can be hard to do. And if you're one of those that looks in the mirror and you're just like, I don't like the way I look, I'm so mad at the way I look, stop looking in the mirror. I hate to say that, but if that's what it takes, don't look in the mirror until you're satisfied.
I wore a hoodie to the gym.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about, and you've been a pretty good guy in your life. You're a good man. What do you say to the guy who doesn't trust himself? And he doesn't trust himself because he is a man or he is a woman. He's old enough to understand, I'm really good at going to work every day on time because I have to, for whatever reason in your life that's important to you, right? And you can make yourself do something sometimes. But this aspect of your life, that self-control, you just don't trust you. So having faith in you, well, that's almost like you don't have faith in you. So how do you create faith in something that you shouldn't really even have faith in, or you shouldn't trust? Even you wouldn't trust you. So how do you get that person to change that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like kind of when I started my transformation, I didn't trust myself. For instance, a simple analogy would be, I wouldn't go into a gas station because I was worried I would buy something colorful and beautiful and candy-like in there. So I'd pay for my gas at the pump. Yeah. And as dumb as that is, that really helped me. And that's just a small portion of my day. But and without becoming a recluse, how do you trust yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that definitely comes from setting yourself up for a win, setting yourself up for victory. You don't just, I'm pretty sure most people don't just wake up with no plan of action for the day. You have things that you want to get done, and you're like, probably as you're falling asleep, and I could be wrong. Maybe people do just get up and whatever.
I think a lot of people do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
So all their other, I call them revenue generating hours, they have no plan.
Yeah. But the things that are important to you that you really want to get done, you probably think about it before you go to bed. And you're like, man, when I get up, I need to make sure before I lay my head down at night, these are the things I get done. What's important to you. And I think that planning for success is important. If you don't believe in yourself, you need to have a plan of success as to how you can get to that point that you're going to believe in yourself. And is that going to be the team you surround yourself with? Because that's very important. I've had a team around me since 2005. When I met Renee and Noelle, who, they've been there for me my whole time out here in California. And it's important to create that team, get that team around you, that those days that you are depressed, in reality, I don't care who you are, there's going to be times that you're going to deal with a little bit of depression. I know a motivational speaker that works with Tony Robbins that has his days where he's down and out and he's a little depressed. And so who's going to be there for you those times? Who are you going to be able to talk to? Who's going to speak you up and say, no, this is the David Kimmerle I know. Snap out of it. How can I help you to snap out of it? You want somebody that is there to help you and that will speak life into you instead of death into you. So I think that's important. That'll to get that team around you. And beyond that, if your goal is let's spin it. If your goal is fitness, get a freaking trainer behind you. If you don't trust yourself, get somebody that you do trust to train you, to push you, that says, no, you're going to do another push-up. Quit being a wuss.
Well, you got a trainer. So say that you've got a great workout, and kind of like what we offer, if you guys follow the workout and you try to keep up with the speed and the effort that we do, you got a heart monitor on to keep you accountable. That's going to mean you built muscle and hopefully you use some fat to do so. But that's part of it. So then how do you not walk over to the fridge that night and have the ice cream with the kids or drink the beers with the guys? In a sense, how do you stop building your life up with one hand and tearing it down with the other? And that's the trust I think that some of us look for. Is we know dang well we'll go to the gym every day. How many guys I work with that go to the gym every day and are still fat? Yeah. And some of them don't even have as much muscle as they could have after this 10 years of training. Yeah. And the reason why is they thought they were being healthy. And James hinted on the answer I was looking for, and that was accountability. If you don't trust yourself, set up some crazy goals, whatever they are, but they have to be able to you have to be able to find accountability somewhere. Whereas in mine was, if I'm really mad and I really don't trust myself, I'm going to go to the gym every day for 50 days. Some of those 50 days, my first 50 days, I drank. I didn't understand the build your life up with one hand and tear it down with the other thing, and you end up with nothing. Hell, tear off your other hand, rip it off, don't use it. But how I got trust back in myself was I set up a very specific goal, and if I did that somehow, and I probably wouldn't, and I didn't even trust myself as I made the goal, but I was one of those guys people referred to as you're a lot of talk, Kimmerle. You say you're going to do a lot of things and you don't do them. I'm just, take a while to get a really close friend to tell you that, but yeah, they did. So I set the 50 days for me or whatever it was. And when I did that, I was so empowered beyond belief. And now all of a sudden I'm on Team David, and that's what I was referring to is how do you jump on your own team and be empowered by yourself? The next would be, and this is dumb, but this is 24-hour goal to trust yourself. I will go to bed at night, and if I'm having this urge, some sort of something in my mind, the conversation is what I call it, that won't shut up, just will not stop, like a guy kicking drugs or something. It won't stop. Go eat something over there. If I can go to bed that night, somehow I can get to bed without putting that whatever it is down my pie hole. Way I wake up feeling in the morning is the definition of empowered. I did it. Somehow that day I went to the gym. I ate less calories than I burned. I wanted to lose fat faster, so I worked out and made it so I was even more negative calories, we'll say. And at the end of the night, I can get rid of that negative, bank that I earned, or I can go to bed and have officially lost that fat that day. And very simply building my life up with one hand and then using the other one to help, really it feels good the next day. So what kind of questions we get, buddy? Where are we at?
Yeah, well, you know what? Craig White says
two
band workouts and one hit. Sorry, I don't know what these. Maybe that's.
I think he said, would you guys suggest doing 2 actual workouts and then just 1 hit afterwards? So should we play the video before it gets into hit training twice, and then do the HIIT training? What do you think?
I think that sounds intense. Just twice sounds intense, but and I'm sorry if that makes me sound like a wuss, but I mean, I use the heart rate monitor and I push myself very hard. And I know some of those workouts, by the time you get to the end of it, just the resistance training, if you're really pushing yourself hard, I mean, your shoulders are on fire if it's a shoulders video or what, and you're just like, oh, and you're like excited to do the HIIT training, you know, the high intensity interval training, because your body, your muscles get a rest from the toning process and just breaking them down. But then you start the high intensity interval training and you're like, man, maybe I want to go back. But yeah, I mean, that to me would be smarter. That's my personal opinion, to do 2 sets of HIIT or HIRT. I mean, I personally don't believe that you should do your cardio before your HIRT training or your resistance training. It wears you out too much. So you want to, while your muscles are fresh, you want to, and while your body's fresh, you want to get that resistance training in, whatever it may be, and then do your cardio after. I have people, they go to the gym, ask me all the time, should I do my I always do my cardio. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. They're always like, I always do my cardio, and you know, like they'll do some crazy cardio and they're like drenched in sweat.
Burned up all their sugar.
Yeah. And then they go weightlift. So I think it's always important to do resistance training first. However, I don't think it would be a problem necessarily. You're only talking about 5 minutes of HIIT cardio. So if you did want to just play it through, do the whole thing and then do it again, and you probably would say the same. I don't think it would kill you that much. I think you could go ahead, maybe you want to do 2 different videos too. Maybe you want to do one body part, you know,
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And then play the next one next. But I mean, I can tell you the way David and I use them is, our preference is because we are kind of into the bodybuilding world as well. You know, I don't consider it bodybuilding. When I think of bodybuilding,
I'm building my body without the extra.
Yeah, I think of Jay Cutler, you know, so when I think of bodybuilders, but I like to roll out of bed on an empty stomach, do my 15-minute HIIT to HIIT workout. That way I burn fat, just straight fat. It's awesome. And I get some toning in the process. And then I have a big fat breakfast, you know, feed my body right away. And I hit my James Ellis Fit videos at night, you know, like I'm sure you guys have seen those on my website. David has videos too that he has out there. So, you know, that's when I do my scientific training methods videos and really bulk up with whatever muscles I need to train. So that's my suggestion. You can do it either way. You know, I said both would really work in reality. So
guys, part of the HIIT training protocol and the HIRT is to get a metabolic boost, and they call it the afterburn, right? So essentially, if you spike your heart rate high enough and give your body some decent enough resistance to where you're burning a lot of calories, you will actually burn more calories. Say you're going to sit at work all day long, and you'll actually burn more calories those same hours the day you did the HIIT training than you would the day before when you didn't. So it's not a huge afterburn. I think a lot of people find too much credit in that, and I've worn the heart rate monitor all day after and before, and I've tested all these things, but it is going to help you, especially first thing in the morning, to boost your metabolism, for the rest of the day. So Craig, specifically the question, I like where James went with that. It's if you're strong enough to annihilate one muscle group 2 times in a row and then do your HIIT, go right ahead, buddy. That takes you right into 25 minutes. If you want to do arms and say chest and then throw down on your HIIT cardio, then that is also suggested, so that you're kind of annihilating both muscle groups. It'll allow you to bring the bands, man, they hurt. And very rarely do I say that pain threshold will stop me, but there's something about that resistance that is just screaming pain, which is why I kind of like the comment before. Please don't tell me that doesn't hurt me, guys. I'm on camera. I have to look cool doing this. I'm really trying to stay calm and composed when my arms are absolutely screaming at me. Yeah. So much like in your living room, let's just say it's the first date with your wife, and she's looking at you doing these videos. You're going to look a little different than after being married for 20 years and down there just dying, right? She's in the room. So that's kind of where we're at. And where I'd like almost your mind to go. If you're in a stadium, you know, take your mind to these places. If you're in a stadium and everybody you've ever wanted to impress in your whole life was going to watch you do this workout, center stage, nothing around you, thousands of them, how hard would you try? Yeah. Is it harder than you would in your living room? If it is, then great. We understand another level, but also get there now. There's no excuse. Give it what you have. High intensity interval training, HIRT training is maximum effort. And that usually means maximum pain.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And I refreshed the page for some reason. It's not keeping up. And next time we do this, I think we're gonna have a better system so that I can have like the screen back behind there and I can be reading it instead of looking off. That way I see your questions. Phil said, thank you, I can do this. So that's awesome, man. Having faith in yourself is the key. So I'm happy you heard that and that you're going to do it. And we believe you can do it too, man. And we're putting these videos out, man. We believe in everybody. They just need to push it hard, be honest with themselves. That's why we encourage the heart rate monitors in our videos. I know like one or two of them, we didn't have the heart rate monitors, but then we got thinking about it and we know the importance of accountability.
Let's be real. We were. Why not?
Yeah, we know the importance of accountability, and we have pretty good accountability around us already, but we thought about the people that are watching this, maybe they don't have good accountability. Yeah. And that's where you can get that heart rate monitor and you can know, I mean, honestly, deep down in your mind, if you're pushing yourself hard enough. But if you can have a little something on your wrist screaming at you, telling you, no, you're not going hard enough, that's truth in numbers. So,
well, and there's also, we get back to being empowered, right? How do you trust yourself? Most of us do a workout where they're building muscle, burning fat, and we go stand in front of the mirror and we look at ourselves. I do. Or you got the weight scale, some sort of sense of accountability, and you're going to look at it and it's most likely not going to be what you're envisioning right now. And it can be a little disheartening, sometimes, to be honest with you, I remember being needing to lose 50 pounds. And so sometimes when I don't feel like doing something, I'll look over the guy that's got 50 pounds to go. And it will inspire me because I know where he is and how much work it is. And I'm kind of excited. I don't have that much to do anymore. But I do remember that. So if you're the guy that looks in the mirror, the lady, and you just don't see what that last hour is going to do if you had 50 of them together and you're just looking at your reality, one of the most fun experiences is looking down at a heart rate monitor and adding up those calories and adding up that effort. And even if it's right now, dang well that you are on your way. And it's, I had a guy get a little disheartened in the other day. Buddy, go back and give me the last 2 weeks. Go into your file and tell me how many calories you burned in the last 2 weeks. He said, well, I burned, 4,000 calories. I said, buddy, you burned over a pound of fat last week. Now, if you were negative in your diet, your resting metabolic rate as well, then you lost more than a pound last week, guaranteed. Now, the reason why we talk a lot about this stuff is what kind of pound was it? Was it muscle or was it fat? And that's the advanced course. We'll get into that depending on the questions that get asked. But if any of you guys have trained with this and you have some numbers from just a simple 15 minutes, let's talk about that. Post them up. I'd like to see how many calories you guys are burning and who's doing more than one video at a time. And actually, how many times a week are you doing the videos?
Yeah. And we even talk about that in some of those videos. I mean, just, we already touched on this. Some people are more advanced than others. So some people might be like, I'm going to do this back to back,
sure,
or back to back several times a week, or I have a little bit more time today, I'm going to do it back to back. I personally have never done them back to back. So I can't even begin to know, how much David might kick my butt if he's training it, or how much I might kick my own butt if I'm training in the video I do. But, or if you have trouble making it through once, I mean, we talk about it throughout the whole video about, take a little bit longer of a break if you need to do that. We want you to work up to, be able to do this fully and get your heart rate up higher or whatever the case may be.
But let's discuss if you need a break.
Yeah.
Because I really don't care if you need a break. I don't. And the reason why I don't is because this is a structured system we're following here. And if you don't follow the structure, then you're kind of not following the structure. And what would be the point of that? These are results we can not guarantee, but we can guarantee from a structured environment. If you make your own environment, well, I'm not guaranteeing any results from that. That's not what I do. I follow the plan and decide if it works or if it doesn't. This plan works. We gave it to you. You have to follow it. So you might think, oh, my heart rate's too high. Look down. Yeah. If your heart rate does not say 20 beats less than your age, then you are not going to die. You're going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. If you have a heart issue, please delete everything I just said. Yeah. So medical, issues aside, and go to the doctor and find out. I sent somebody that came to me and said, you know what, Kimmerle, I got a medical problem. You go to the dang doctor then. We're going to get rid of this excuse right now, or we're going to be safe and use it to change what you're doing. But until then, Mister, I'm too sick to go to school. How sick are you really? You know what I mean? Don't use that your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a question in here from Josh, and Josh Connor looks like he said, "Thank you for making this Google Hangout. I am an aspiring journalist and would love to interview you someday. That'd be awesome. That sounds awesome. We'd love to be interviewed." He says, "I have two questions. James alluded to it earlier. How can I go from scrawny to brawny? What would be the title of your life story, and who would play you in the movie?" Yes, it's a cool question. Cool question, Josh. I don't know if I'll be able to answer the second half of that, but I've never really thought about who would play me. But I think,
wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would play me.
We live in Hollywood, guys. Good hell.
No, but I mean, I talked about it a little bit. I mean, yeah, I did. I went from scrawny to brawny, and I've been much brawnier than I am now. I'm only like 175 now, but I've worked up to. I was up to 196 when I shot the cover of Reps back in like 2010. So I have been much bigger, but I have been much smaller. As I said before, I was 135 pounds in high school, and I just got sick of being there, and I decided, being as low self-esteem as I was, having no confidence, having no willpower, like just didn't have much in me. I just got sick of getting beat up. I got sick of getting pushed around. I got sick of people not believing in me. And there's just a point in time where you hit it, you crash.
Done.
Yeah. And you can either lay around in depression and get worse and worse and just die that way, hitting yourself, or you can make a change. And I chose that path of I'm making a change. I'm not going to get picked on anymore. And I made a drastic change. I mean, I went from that kid to being on the cover of over 40 fitness magazines, to winning the World Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation World Championship. Like, I made a drastic change. And I look at that and I think about that and I think, if I could do that, is there anybody out there that couldn't do it? Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
that's where you got to own where you think you are in your head and nobody can relate.
Yeah.
He could define the word drastically with the example he just used. Yeah. Put it in the dictionary. That's drastic.
No.
Don't you think that was hard to do? Mm-hmm. Overwhelmingly hard, from being head in the toilet to head with a smile on a magazine. Are you kidding me? And then add 40 of them, move to Hollywood and have a career doing it?
Yeah.
Wow. So whatever your goal is, wherever you are, pull the needle out.
Yeah.
Stop drinking. Do what you say you're going to do. Look up the definition of integrity, any of those things, and then start your journey. And it will be difficult. It will be hard. It won't happen in one day. James, how many years did it take you?
I mean, I've been doing it for 14 years.
14.
So it is, I tell people so often, and again, I was interviewed recently for ESPN, and I said the same thing there. I said, please, 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 people, anybody listening, recognize that this is a marathon. It is not a sprint. This is not a
You're a long distance runner. That's a cheat. Yeah. You cheated life.
Yeah. It's not a get rich quick scheme. Yeah. It doesn't happen overnight. You can't look at your body a week from now and say, man, I'm just not there. You're not going to be there. And I wasn't either. And David wasn't either.
And that could be the business. I mean, James, you had to not only make your body look the way it does, mm-hmm. but then you had to make a business of it. Yeah. Well, guys, I'm first to scream that being a business as a body is not the end of the definition of how you make money. You have to learn how to build websites and or create business opportunities for yourself and literally LLCs. You have to understand how to even start an LLC. You know what I mean? Like, actual business is not just looking a certain way. So James, to build his body was hard enough, but then symbolically to make money with it, well, that's just a whole other conversation. And doing that was difficult, and it did take years. And I had something very similar, where, okay, Kimmerle, you look the right way, or something, that somebody might buy. I had my accountability set up. What do you do with it? What do you do with your idea? You want to make a T-shirt, or you want to start your own tire shop. What do you do with that? The whole thing seems so overwhelming. It's no matter what, it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess to further answer your question, Josh, I mean, yes, it took consistency. I also had to eat. I mean, I came from small to, like not being able to put any muscle on my body. Yeah, and I had to eat. I mean, it took, back then it was, protein wasn't quite as well known when I started.
Didn't taste as good either.
Yeah, like back in the late 90s or whatever. I mean, I did a little bit of lifting back in 99, so technically that's more than 14 years, but I didn't get serious about it until like 2001. But 2001. But what it came down to is that I needed to freaking put more calories in my body, and I also needed to quit running so freaking much. I was running up to 80 miles a week in the summertime. I ran cross country. I was big into cross country.
So what you're saying is you were not eating enough and you were skinny.
Yep.
And on top of that, you were running, which was making you skinny. And you realized, not only do I have to eat more, but I have to stop doing something I'm really good at and actually enjoy doing for the ultimate goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and another thing it took was the knowledge that it takes to do things right in the gym. I always share this story, and it's something that's always stuck out in my mind, and that's why I share it so much. And this is why I put out my scientific training methods videos on my website, jamesellisfit.com. You can get my videos, a whole bundle on exactly what I do in the gym: my chest workout, back workout, arms workout, legs, abs, everything, shoulders. So I put those videos out because that is what I'm getting ready to get into right now, talking about the knowledge in the gym. When I started training in college, I had the luxury and the blessing of being able to train with Mr. Indiana, the winner of Mr. Indiana, the actual show. So it was really cool to learn from this guy who had been lifting for a long time. He actually was a doctor as well, so that was cool. So he knew his stuff. So I started into working out with the knowledge that he had for however many years he had it. So it wasn't like I was starting off with no instruction or just some random personal trainer. I was training with Mr. Indiana. So that helped me a ton. And I kind of went from that to starting to study that stuff myself. I was like, well, this guy knows all this stuff. I want to know this stuff, and I want to study it deeper because I want to get ahead of the game. Instead of just coming in here and being like, that machine's open, I'll go work out there. Oh, that one's open too, I'll do that one. And not even really knowing what I'm training arms, training chest, training back, everything in the same day, and then going back the next day, training everything again. You can't do that, folks. You're going to wear your body out. You're going to overtrain yourself. So that's what I encourage you to do, is to learn this stuff. If you don't want to learn this stuff, I have a website, jamesellisfit.com. David has a website. We're putting our stuff out. This is another great time for us to shout out the fact that we're both putting stuff out on YouTube like crazy, folks. Like, if you go to my YouTube, my handle is @JamesEllis3, the same as my Google handle. David's is what?
David Kimmerle.
Yep. So the spelling is Kimmerle. Yeah.
That might be 1 in 10.
Yeah. So we're going to be putting out videos like every day on there. Are you scheduled every day?
Yeah.
Well, I'm scheduled every day. I have videos going out pretty much every day that are going to teach you guys little tricks that I've learned over the years. So you can go there. You can go to our personal websites. You can keep coming back to HIIT band workouts and a website that we're going to have later. But we want to share our knowledge with you guys. So, and that's what this is about too. So that's also what I encourage you to do, Josh. Just eat, train consistently, set goals, and learn from our knowledge. Learn from people that know what they're doing instead of just going in.
Well, back to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Who's going to play you?
Back to Hollywood. Who's going to play me?
Yeah. You're going to be this huge name, and you'll be like, I'm not even going to do my own movie. I'm going to have somebody else do that. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Dwayne Johnson. No, we're gonna put a wig on him.
I was changing. All right, we're getting more people on. I guess we had a problem, guys. Didn't know that we could only allow 10 people on, and our technical savvy people, they did fix that for us, and we appreciate them. Somebody needs to lose fat, James. Three tips top.
Oh my gosh, dude, that's crazy. So we fixed that, huh?
We did fix that.
It just dawned on me as I was drinking my water, and I heard it, and then it took me a while to internalize.
Phil Marvin says he respects us both. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate that.
You, sir.
Acknowledge it.
Toast to that.
Toast to that. He's a teacher. You have a heart for teachers there, James. So you understand a structured day. So this tip goes out specifically for Marvin or somebody that would have a work schedule like that. He's a suit. He's teaching obnoxious kids, most likely. He wakes up early in the morning and he has a lunch break, and he probably most likely have his food there and eat between classes. He most likely has a locker, and he gets a few months off in the summer, maybe 2 or 1, depending on if he coaches football or whatever you do, buddy. But I'm sure there's some time off, much like a firefighter, where you have a month in your world where you get to really kill it. I call those 2-a-days. That's what I would do on those days. But for the rest of the time, what do you say to a guy like that? How does he get fit? He says, quote unquote, I want to lose fat. What do you tell that guy? Because he's sitting, man. He's not doesn't sound like his PE coach.
Well, I think that, I mean, that's a problem that a lot of people have. People have the 9 to 5. They probably don't have the luxury to go out and do whatever throughout the day. So again, we've said it before, you got to plan for success. Every day you have to have a plan of action for success. You can't just roll out of bed and be like, I might work out tomorrow. But if you don't set a time for it, you're probably not going to do it. So especially if you're working a job in the morning, my recommendation for you, if you hired me right now, I would say get out of bed early enough.
Kind of did hire you, but yeah.
Get out of bed early enough that you can do our 15-minute workout, because I can't be there to train you. So you want to lose fat, hurt to hit training is going to do that. I mean, it's going to rock your world. I think you're already doing them. I feel like you said he was.
I think he's on.
Every morning, be consistent with it. And if you need a morning off once in a while, take it off. I mean, of course, but I mean, I also don't want you to burn out. If hiring me, I wouldn't want you to burn out. I'd be like, I would encourage you to go at least 5 days a week is what I would encourage. Okay. If you want to be a superhero and go 6, whatever. I don't know that I would go 7.
So say 6 times 200 calories is 1,200 calories a week. You would have to do 3 weeks to lose a pound of fat. Yeah. 3 weeks like that. 3 weeks of every morning. You might get an extra 100 to 200 from the afterburn. So now we're looking at 400. We'll be fair there. And we'll say we'll even it up in the middle at 300. So that would be 3 times 5 is 1,500. Or 6, 1,800. So you'd have to do 2 weeks to lose a pound of fat that way. But you are losing fat. So the advanced course would be how much fat and how fast you want to lose it. What's your second tip?
Well, and I want to add to that, because these are hurt to hit. So you're also gaining muscle.
Yes, good one.
So I don't want you to get discouraged if you're not dropping weight, because we had people test our videos before we put them out. And I already have people that are sending me stuff that are like, dude, these are freaking amazing. I've been getting great results. They're wanting us to use them as a testimonial. So I'm super amped about it. It's just been rocking their world, because it's a totally different style of training that people aren't really doing. We kind of came up with the name HURT. I mean, high intensity resistance training. I mean, we had been talking about HURT for a long time before we did these videos, like years and years before, because we've been messing around with bands for that long. So I do. That's why I brought that up. I don't want you to get discouraged if you don't see the pound actually going off on the scale, because you're gaining muscle by toning as well. So do those videos in the morning, and if you want, do them twice. If you get up early enough, you're like, I'm going to do it twice. Do it twice. That's great. If you do have time at the end of the day and you want to go weight train, go weight train. But also you want to get your diet together too. You want to make sure that you're on a clean eating program.
That's the third tip.
You want to make sure that you're not eating the cafeteria food, because it's probably not that healthy.
It isn't that healthy.
Yeah.
No.
And,
I would go far as to say, if you eat a cafeteria meal in the next 50 meals, you're lying.
Yeah.
You need to lose weight, but you don't want to. Because
Yeah.
if you wanted to, very simply, you would bring your own food with you. Keep going, but like flat out, if like those little points, those little senses of accountability, no matter what you do, it's got to be better than that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I cook. I love the crock pot. It'll cook me my meals for a full week.
Way to go.
So I'll throw chicken in the crock pot. I buy chicken at Costco. I can't remember where you're from, but maybe you have a Sam's Wholesale Club or whatever that has the chickens, individual chicken breasts or chicken tenderloins. You throw those in a crock pot, cook them. You can do the same thing with steak, a good lean steak, obviously. But that'll give you your meals for a week. And, you just weigh it out what you need per meal, take them, you might need to get yourself a 6-pack bag or whatever and put your meals in there. And then you have your meals while you're at school, and you can eat a little bit more. You can, snack on healthy food this way if you end up deciding to want to snack. Or you can go to, for me, I go to Icon Meals. I get meals in the mail every day, whatever I choose from their website, iconmeals.com. I wasn't trying to shout them out, but that's the question right now. So that's honestly what I do. I do crock pot meals that I cook on my own, and I do Icon meals.
So what does that do for him? I'm going to simplify that.
Yeah,
I do Fitness Kitchen.
Kitchen.
What he's done is he has meals ready for him in advance, whether it be you're ordering from a meal delivery place or you've cooked enough chicken that if you really go for the kids cupboard, a lot of my clients say, I got a kids cupboard. Well, don't open it. What do you mean? If you have chicken in there, most likely you're not going to open it. Okay. One of the tricks would be to add a little sugar or a little barbecue sauce or something to make you not go without. And the advanced course is if you go without that kid's cupboard for a while, all of a sudden that chicken with some barbecue sauce does taste like sugar. So, James, we got some other good questions in here.
Awesome to have a teacher on here, by the way. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Guy's 50 years old. He has some arthritis. What do you say to a man that is picking up the weights for his first time? We've got a few of those we worked with, and things just hurt, just crackling and hurting. And guys, I've been to the doctor. I got a perception of this. I had a doctor tell me when I was 24, Kimmerle, you should never ever run. You shouldn't play any sports, and you have an excuse to be a massive lazy person. I'm going to use some other words. He literally showed me on a screen the size of my 60-inch TV. This is an expensive hospital, and Mo, I got to have my knee stop hurting. And he said, Kimmerle, it's like this. It's supposed to be like that, and this is supposed to be round. It's like that. That's what's happening. Well, I didn't do anything for 8 years and 6 years, and then I decided to heck with him. So it depends on how much your doctor's giving you an excuse just because you're complaining and shutting you up, or if it really does hurt. But there are some basic supplements you can take. James, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, obviously your glucosamine, and I think that would help a lot. Again, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not supposed to give this advice. I'm just saying what I would do.
Okay.
And I don't want to get myself into a lawsuit.
Well, I will. I'll say you this. Glucosamine, chondroitin, and MSM in a blend works very well. Yep. If you hurt, we gotta go back to the old high school term. Am I hurt or am I injured? Coach comes out and you're flat on your back and you've had the air knocked out of you, and that's usually the case. Are you hurt or you're injured? You're looking up at him going, I guess I'm hurt. Well, then get up and play. Yep. If you're injured, we understand. There's a line there, and it's drawn in the sand, and it's very small. Yep. Go back there and we'll sit it out. Yep. If you are not injured and you are just hurting a little bit, or it's the definition of uncomfortable. I've got pins and knees in my leg and the screws that long, and I shattered my ACL. A big, huge Tongan football player fell on me and crushed everything. It hurt. Oh, it hurt. It hurt doing a squat. It hurt doing anything. It hurt going upstairs. It hurt if I walked across a cement floor and there was a transition between carpet. My knee would just move like a quarter inch. Oh, it hurt. Much like arthritis, because I've had it now for 15 years, however long. Do try to take as much discomfort as you can until you've drawn the line in yourself what hurt is. And from there, I would there are a lot of different muscle groups, a lot of different exercises that will train the same muscle group. So find yourself in a position that is, training that muscle group that doesn't hurt. There are variations, James and I show you in the videos. If it hurts to squat all the way down, say you don't have mobility, could be another one. Just do what you can and eventually be able to do more. And long story short, on mine, within about a year and a half, and it sucked, to the year and a half it did, I forgot my knee hurt. I spent 8 years worried about that knee. 10 years, however long it was, just like it consumed every bit of my mobility, getting in and out of the car or walking. Literally, if I had a rug carpet on top of a tile floor, my knee would move. I had to watch everything. Played horseshoes and darts, didn't play any other sports. Now I do whatever I want. So I think what happened with me is the muscles really strengthened the joint and eventually held it into a better place than the atrophy that was there before. And I ended up, even though it was a lot of impact, and stay away from the high impact stuff, but even though it was a lot of movement on a joint that I was told not to move on, eventually the muscles got stronger and it went away. So that's my 2 cents on that.
Yeah, that's good, man. And what else? Another thing I would suggest actually is to Google that, the arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
I know it sounds really weird to say that, but I've learned a lot of stuff when I Google injuries and things of that sort, where people that maybe aren't even doctors, but they've been through it and they've learned little tricks along the way of what they can do to fix things.
A good mineral.
And then you'll find something out about freaking drinking vinegar or eating an onion, like who knows what the heck it is, but it's amazing what you'll find out that has worked for other people, that they've learned like these, things that you don't usually eat or try that will fix things. So I encourage you to do that as well.
Yep. James,
there's probably vitamins and stuff like that.
This is a fun one. This is a fun one. Everybody always likes to ask. I get up at 4:30 in the morning, 5:30 in the morning. I gotta go work out at that time because that's what it is in my life. What is a good pump me up drink for lifting this early? What's something that's gonna lighten my world, make me rip the head off a bear, and calm me down enough where I can still go to my job? Don't be funny, camera guy.
All right, light me up drink.
Yeah, well, he says, are there any tips or supplements that you could suggest, to pump up lifting this early?
Oh man. First of all, I didn't even realize that 4:30 came twice in a day, unless I'm going to bed at that time. So props to you for that, sir. That's incredible. And
make your time. No excuses.
And Bill, I'm pretty sure that you live in the United States because I've seen Bill Goodwin out there, and I believe I've talked to you before on Facebook and whatnot. So I would love to say get some stuff from SciTech Nutrition because I love their pre-workouts. They've been rocking my world. However, they don't ship to the United States at this point in time. They're dealing with some stuff with that right now, and they're going to get some warehouses out
here. Should I answer the question?
Yeah. So they're gonna get some warehouses out here and hopefully be here. I'm praying a couple of years.
For all you guys in Europe.
Yeah.
Anybody in America? I've used them all, most of them. One of my favorites when I was first starting out was Dymatize Expand. I've used the C4. I've used. I've used all of them. Super Pump. Really, my suggestion is you're probably anywhere from $30 to $50 bottles, all of them. And to specifically answer the question, I would say try some C4. You can always look at the caffeine that's coming in and add a little bit more to that. Another suggestion would be it's really kind of hard to work out that early in the morning because either you're going to be doing it on an empty stomach, which I do not suggest lifting weights. That means you're going to have to take your pre-workout drink. Say you're training there by 5. You lift between 4:40 and 5. So that means your pre-workout drink has to go in about 4:20. About 4:30, 15 minutes before your workout. And then I start working out for maybe 5 minutes, and I down a very fast carb drink. One of my favorites is Vitargo. It's available right now, and you take it with a hydrolyzed protein. So they mix the two together or whatnot. But basically, you need a really, really fast carb and a really, really fast protein. And the reason why is because if you eat your like a breakfast meal, you're going to dumb up the effect of the caffeine and the whole like rip the head off a bear part that can come with the pump drink. So most likely, if it's not light in your world, it's because you're mixing it with food. And so that would be a simple manipulation to avoid that. Get nutrition in that's in now. Or you could wake up first thing in the morning. I don't know if you're getting up at 4, but you down your breakfast right then, and then right around 4:40 is when you'd have your drink and start training because that pump drink will hit you pretty quick. But either way around, to get the full effects of it, it needs to be away from food or before food. That's fast.
Yeah, and Dave, you brought up a good point because I don't want to not say anything about my favorite pre-workout. I know, Bill, you're located here, but you did mention that could be people in other parts of the world listening to this. So my favorite personally is Big Bang from SciTech Nutrition. And it's just because it is loaded with everything. It's got branched chain amino acids. It's got arginine for pump. It's got beta alanine for vascularity. It's got tons of branched chain amino acids, like I said. And honestly, it's completely loaded.
Can I have some?
And yeah, exactly. He needs to try it.
Come on, Bill.
But
hook me up.
It's got so much awesome stuff in it. So those of you that are in other parts of the world, I suggest you try it at least once because you're going to love it. And it even tastes good. So
We love you, Andrea.
Yeah, we love you, Andrea.
Okay, I want some of that.
Yeah.
I like to try all the drinks. Guys, I've even, and don't shoot me for this, anybody, I've taken in mixed pre-workouts before. It gets the advanced course, and I wasn't going to touch on it, but I will just slightly, is if it's a proprietary blend, they're not telling you what's in it, and that means it's hard to judge what else you should take. You can kind of do the math, and even some of these companies will piss you off, but their proprietary blend doesn't even add up to what they say is in it. 10 grams of this and this, and your proprietary blend is only 9 grams. Well, we're lost somewhere there. We're missing a gram.
Yep.
So try to buy the products that have no proprietary blend in it. And if you do, just understand that that's a fun drink to have, and your arginines and your beta-alanines and your citrulines and your carnosines and any one of the HMB, glutamine, whatever you're taking, amino acids, take those separately. Yeah. Put all those into a that's like 5-6 different bottles, right? So I take those bottles and I'll take an empty bottle and I'll put in however many servings of each, and then I'll mix the whole thing up and I'll take out a couple servings of that, or one large serving that equals all of those for one serving of workout, and I'll put that in my drink. So I'm guaranteeing myself that I'm getting enough of some of the truly proven supplements there are to help build muscle. Yeah, and one other thing, I have 2 days where I don't even take pre-workout, and that's just me. If I take pre-workout when I do legs, I will puke. Like I just can't, my body can't handle it. So I don't do pre-workout on leg day, and I don't do pre-workout on abs day. It's just something that different with those workouts. It upsets my stomach. I'm doing leg press. I'm pressing my knees are coming all the way up into my chest. That's a great tip.
And it's pushing in on my stomach, and in abs, I'm pushing in on my stomach, and it just upsets my stomach.
Because your stomach's full of fluid, or is it the caffeine and everything?
Caffeine and everything, just whatever. I've never been able to take any pre-workouts on legs or abs day, but I do drink a black coffee, or I'll add an extra shot, of coffee or whatever to it, espresso shot to it. One thing on this pre-workout subject that I always caution people is please don't get addicted to pre-workouts and not get off of them. That's a big
adrenal glands. Watch them.
Yeah,
they'll wreck you.
Yeah. So what I do is I usually go. I'll go for, like, right now, my cycle right now is I do Big Bang pre-workout for a month. That's usually when the bottle's gone. I'll do powered pre-workout for the next month. No caffeine. The bottle's usually gone. It does have caffeine. And then I go off for a month. Okay. No pre-workouts, period.
8 weeks.
I'll tell you what, that's hard. It's hard to get off of them, and you're going to feel like, I just don't have what it takes to, I can't make it in here. Like, this is so hard.
Better than living like that.
Yeah.
Occasionally. And you will if you burn out your adrenals.
In that month off, occasionally I'll do a coffee if I absolutely need it. But what I'm trying to do is, just like David said earlier, I'm trying to allow my adrenals to repair, and it's just like, the way I look at it, it's like putting fuel injector fluid cleaner into your car. Sure. You're trying to clean it out. You're trying to let all the gunk come out, and your body will feel better, and your body will love you more for it. You're going to age better.
And if you like your favorite thing, if getting lit at the gym is fun, guys, I refer to it as a beer at the bar. Yeah. Too many beers at the bar isn't good for you, right? But for some of you that do drink, and I don't have that luxury anymore, but if you do, having a beer at the bar is a little more fun, right? The bar can still be a very fun place to be without drinking. But myself, back in the days when I would go, I preferred it with having a drink. So the gym is the same way to me. My inhibitions go away. I feel like lifting bigger, heavier metals and pushing them around more, and really just, I find my GER a little bit easier. But what James has explained is, if you do too much of it, it won't work anymore, and then it's gone forever. Your adrenal glands are shot, and you're kind of stuck on this thing, and it never will be the same. So if you love something, you're gonna have to let it go for a little while, and you can have it back. Much like cardio. If you do cardio every day, all of a sudden cardio won't burn fat anymore because you're too good at it. Your body's used to it, right? That mind muscle confusion, you've lost it. So take some breaks and be smart, and it'll continue working for you forever.
Yeah, and I'm not in bed with any of these companies, but there are some really good adrenal support companies out there.
Are you in bed with other companies?
Yeah, I am.
Expand.
Isocort is a really great adrenal repair. SR Adrenal is another great adrenal repair. If you feel like you're just flushed, you're worn out, you can't seem to muster up any energy, you might have an adrenal problem, or you might have a testosterone problem, gentlemen. And adrenals have a little bit to do with the production of testosterone too. So you have to have healthy adrenals. You might go to the doctor and just get your blood tested, find out where you're at, and they can get you on something as well. But I've used Isocort in the past, and it's really helped to repair my adrenals, and I felt a lot better.
Caffeine and stress. If you're stressed out and caffeine's not working on you, get in and get them tested.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that answered your question, buddy. We're going to move down the list here. Haven't worked out regularly since 2005. We'll probably have to shorten up our answers a little bit to get through them. Are HIIT workouts okay for beginners, and should I wait until I've gotten used to the gym again?
Gosh, that's a great question. Who asked that?
No, that was Tommy.
Tommy Parrott, what's going on, brother? Good to have you in the room. Yeah, I've always said Parrott. Is it Parrott?
I don't know.
I don't know. Did I pronounce
like doing fun things with last names.
Yeah. That's such an incredible question, and it's really perfect for what we're looking to do, because we haven't talked enough about our band workouts, and we really wanted to use this time also to get the word out about it, because it is that time of year where people are setting their New Year's resolutions and they want to get in shape and all that good stuff, and it's a great time to buy a gift for your friend too, or for yourself. Buy yourself the gift of health and fitness for Christmas, Tommy. So anyways, great question. Yes, it's for beginners, and also the other part of the question that you didn't ask is yes, it's for professionals too. So, and you're not.
Sorry, Tommy. You keep going, Tommy.
You're not listening to me anymore.
This one's for you.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So it's for beginners. It's for pros. I mean, my brother-in-law is going to get started on them, and he almost qualified for the Olympic trials in hammer throw. He is a pro. My roommate is a decathlete, and he's done them, and he was just drenched in sweat, worn out. So I'm telling you, David and I, if you watch the videos, we're drenched in sweat, completely worn out, out of breath. If you're a beginner, you can do it too, and you're going to feel the same way, and that's a good thing. So that's why we keep talking about heart rate monitors. If you're pushing yourself the way you should, then you will get great results, and they're going to work for you. Beginner, pro, male, female, it doesn't matter. They're for everybody. So give them a shot. It's going to help you with your fat burning and toning.
Well, we love Andrea Taylor. We love Renee. We love Dylan. What did he say?
We love Princess.
David, how you got into modeling and weightlifting? Sort of want to know. Well, Dylan, right back. And if you really want to know, I'll take this time to tell you. Find out about the bands. They're working for somebody. Blah, blah,
Just
blah.
so you know, Dylan, do right back. You going to have a message you on the website or something?
Yeah. So you should know about.
David came from being heavier to in shape. So he came from having a keg to having a 6-pack, 8-pack, whatever the case may be.
I don't have an 8-pack. I've been trying to get one. I don't have one.
So anyways, that's a big reason. I mean, David and I are great friends, have been for a long time, but it also just made sense for us to team up on a project, because we both come from different backgrounds, and we feel like we can help a lot of people with our experiences. And, there's going to be a lot of people that can relate to David, a lot of people that can relate to me. And so we think that's a great thing, and that's what we're all about, is helping out. And we're going to bring some girls in on some projects soon too, because I don't know if girls can relate to us as easily, but we're certainly going to try to help them to do that.
Michael the Duck asked a pretty good question. He said, basically, guys, as we gain muscle, acknowledging the game is calories in versus calories out, and that's the most general possible umbrella you can put it under, but that is the case. But as your muscles grow, like a bigger engine in a car, that means you'll burn more calories, fuel with less effort. Effort is the only problem I have with that statement, because effort is relative. So I think that when you have more muscle, I know when you have more muscle, you burn more fat easily. So as we're building muscle, guys, and that's something to, once again, look for empowerment. Even if you're not looking the way you want to look in the mirror, heck, there's more muscle under there. So you're expediting the process. In a sense, helping yourself out. And but he is right. The more muscle you have and the larger you are going to burn more calories. The one thing we have to watch out for, and that's why James and I will continue to come out with stuff like this, is if your body gets good at something, it's not going to be as hard for the body. And so therefore the results of the definition of what that hard should be go away. And so the heart rate monitor, once again, it will tell you flat out, guys. For instance, I used to run in my fat burning zone. I'm a big believer in these zones, right? So my fat burning zone was a 135, and I'm on the treadmill on a number 5 when I first got to the gym. Heck, that hurt, man. I was affirmations through the roof. Anything I could do to keep me running 5 miles at that number 5. And pretty soon I noticed that, a few months later, I'm running at number 6, and I'm new to the heart rate stuff. So I don't quite know what I'm doing yet, but I'm noticing these things. I have these files. I'm researching it all. Well, heck, a few months later now, and it was probably a year later, I'm running on a 6.5 or a 7 to keep my heart rate at 135. That was so annoying for me. I was having to try way harder, and in a sense, that's effort. I was giving more effort for less calories burned. You know what I mean? Or the same amount of calories burned. So in the end, yes, if you built muscle underneath your fat and or you thinned your skin and what's waiting is muscle, you will burn fat faster and you will burn more calories. So you want to hold this and ask some questions?
Yes.
James,
Let's see.
computer the size of a car over here.
What's up, guys?
That's creepy.
Hiding my face.
That is kind of creepy.
Is this cool, guys? Can I do it this way?
I feel creepy now.
Sorry. I think the pre-workout's kicking in. Just kidding. I didn't take pre-workout for this.
Okay. How long have we been going? What time is it?
David, how did you
We're supposed to be done, James.
We're supposed to be done.
These guys are over us.
We're working overtime.
All right, get down to the last good questions. We're going to let you guys go. We would sit here all day long and talk about stuff we love to talk about.
And we will do a Google Hangout again.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you guys like this. We'll have to get some feedback.
Probably after the holidays. And so sorry for those that couldn't get in here early enough.
I think we can record this too, maybe. Huh?
Yeah.
Record this?
David, how did you?
Recording now?
David, how did you start? Philip again said, I work at a gym, trainers, spin instructor, fitness floor manager, having trouble keeping my focus on my own training. Help, 66 years old, about 10%.
Oh, that's an easy one.
Trying to gain muscle without getting fat.
What you do for a living is you give away energy. You know, I'm gonna just guess that you're old enough to be really good at your job by now. So making a transformation, every time I've ever tried and I've given my energy to somebody and I've noticed that I have less of it. And you give and you give. It could be a school teacher, it could be a mother, it could be anything, right? We give our energy, and being a personal trainer, you give a lot. So finding your own tank can be difficult. So what I've tried to do is reserve a part for me. I will give everything in my tank, energy, attention, heart, love, all of it to, sometimes we're even counselors in what we do in training. And you're just going to have to hold some for you. It's not a selfish thing, and it's not in any way a bad thing, but you got to be a tiny bit selfish and make sure you don't empty your tank of positive energy every day. The next would be, I've literally fired clients. I don't know how well you're doing financially, but if you come in every day, and I'm a tough son of a, man, I've got a wall. It's hard to break it down. I will give you my energy. I want everybody to feel the way I do. Boy, it's been a neat experience. My heck, I could just even once give you a six-pack. You know what it's like to have. I used to be fat. Can you imagine what it's like for me to have a six-pack and be on cover of magazines? So I want that for people. But if you're so far away, and I'm coming to complain to David, or, oh, you're on a fitness model guy and I want to come train with you. Nope, you can go. I don't want your money. Don't need it. Because I need my energy and my positive attitude more. And I'm certainly not going to let you bring me down. One of my videos, I call it a case of wussitis. If you hang out with enough friends that have the same goal, well, you're going to pretty much go that goal. If you hang out with people all day long that are fat and complain about it but do nothing about it, or come to the gym and train with you so they can act like in a room that they did something about it, and even tell people they invested in it, but they have no intention of controlling themselves, get rid of them. Run from them. You don't want to be around them. Yeah. So, and if finances make you so you need to be around these people, whether it be people you're at work with, in this case, you're a personal trainer, so around these clients that you have to train, then I would say just go back to that 10% reserve tank for you. Never, ever, ever give it all. It's not fair.
That's good. I love that. And we're going to try to wrap this up in, I'll say 10 or 15 minutes.
I'm over it right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of questions, so I want to try to answer them faster, as quick as I can. And, we've been having fun hanging out, and now we need to get to business even more so. So what was each of you guys' most memorable year? For me, I don't remember what year it was, but I think I had like 10 covers or something that year, which was awesome. And or it was like 2011 when I won the world championship, WBFF world championship. So those were awesome years, and definitely had a lot of favor from the good Lord. So I appreciate that. What about you, Dave?
My favorite year was the year I turned 30. I woke up at 30 and I hated my life, hated everything about me. And in fact, I didn't like anybody else either, because if they liked me, I didn't like them. somewhere after I turned 30, somewhere around March or April, I made a change. And that was when, pull back to the beginning of this conversation, the beginning of this whole video, that was when I bought my trust for myself. I earned something for me that I never believed I could have. And I've used that the last 6 years to create a business, to create a cover model, to create whatever I want. Actually, it doesn't really matter what my goal is now. I can do it because I trust myself and I understand the word of integrity. So for me, it'd be that 30th year of my life that was the worst ever to start and the best ever to end.
Yeah. And then Andrea Taylor basically asked the same question: accomplishment you're most proud of. Is that different for you?
Accomplishment? No. Because that's like, I'm talking about a one-day accomplishment. That took me 3 months, man. I relapsed. I did all sorts of things during the process of buying my
something like favorite thing you've ever done, cover muscle and fitness, maybe.
Drove to Costa Rica.
Okay.
By far, drove 21 days straight south with my dog in the car and surfed just one of the most amazing experiences you could have. Solitary confinement in a van with a dog.
Second part of that question is, will it be available? Will this be available after the hangout?
I think so.
So yes, the video will be. It's to my understanding, it's my first time using Google Hangout, but it's my understanding it will save to my YouTube. So if it won't, then it's I'm getting the thumbs up. So my YouTube is youtube.com/JamesEllis3. So you can check that out. I'm sure I'll share it on my social networks. Dave will too. So yeah,
west side upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Then you'll be able to hear her answer. She said she's having trouble with the audio. Tommy Parrott or Parrot,
French.
Are supplements okay if you're taking prescription medications, taking anti-anxiety medicine? And I've always been weary about taking supplements.
Buddy, if you're taking anti-anxiety medication and you're worried about taking a supplement, you've got a perception problem here. I will drink a shot of alcohol, but I won't take a vitamin. I won't drink Kudos oil because it tastes nasty, but I'll drink Goldschlager. I like to say it like that, and Tommy, that wasn't necessarily for you, that sarcasm, but it is for the world. Guys, it's easy to talk yourself out of something and have anxiety about something. Just simplify it to yourself. If I'm doing this, and that could be possibly considered bad, how much is this close to that? And if this is supposed to be good, maybe I can relieve my anxiety because I already know this is bad and I'm willing to do it.
All right, David.
The medication answer, though, I would run that by your doctor for sure, 100%.
Yeah. This question, I'm gonna throw it over to you.
Okay.
And if I have a different spin on it.
Ryder Gordon, that's a big mean son of a bee right there. Tell you what, that guy's the numbers he puts up, 1,000-calorie workouts for years. That guy's crazy.
Most HIIT programs I've seen have a duration period of anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. The intervals vary from program to program. Here's my question: if I was to jog at a faster than moderate pace for a full 20 to 30 minutes nonstop, where my heart rate was in the high end of my HIIT zone for the full duration, would my body achieve the same results as if I would have done HIIT intervals, sprints for 30 seconds and rest and sprinting again?
Okay, great question. The guy says, Ryder, why not just run as hard as I can for 20 minutes then? Literally. And instead of taking this structured break, it could be, I watched a guy do HIIT training for 20 minutes, and literally all he did was he did 10 seconds of burpees and 10 seconds of rest. And then he did a minute of burpees and 10 seconds of rest. I think that the HIIT training protocols are set up to get the maximum amount of effort out of you. You'll notice I've got a website and I've got 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. The idea is to test yourself, right? Or specifically to answer your question, I think going for 20 minutes is absolutely hard as you can, balls out. If you can keep your heart rate that high, great. I think the point of the HIIT training though is the high intensity, and I see it's hard to talk to this guy because I see his heart rate monitor numbers. I know what he does. So for him, very specifically, Ryder, I would say, go as hard as you want for 20 minutes. You're badass. For other people, and most, and even including myself, because I'm not putting those kind of numbers anymore, I would say that in order for me to hit the actual 180 mark, which is really, it's in my HIIT training, I can't do something for 20 minutes straight. I have to actually have that small break in order to get it that high. Keeping my heart rate at 160 for 20 minutes, I could probably do that. But that's not HIIT training for me. HIIT training for me is maximum effort. So if you think you're going maximum effort, and you are, but your heart rate isn't where it needs to be, then that's where the break comes in, so you can actually get that extra maximum, a different kind of maximum, which would equal a higher heart rate. And that's kind of where the accountability is set up on the HIIT training. So, but knowing you, Ryder, man, you probably keep that thing at 180 the whole time.
Yeah, and I like the idea of you just talking about switching it up. You know, sometimes you're going to change your interval periods, how long you're going hard, how long you're going easy. We do in our HIIT band workouts, our HIIT to HIIT videos, we're doing 40-20. So 40 on, 20 off. A lot of people do 30-30. But it's pretty intense when you're going 40 seconds all out and then you're going 20-second break. It just barely allows that heart rate to come back, get to normal. And then sometimes you don't even get it back to normal. So
that's I mean, I like the 15-minute video because you can manipulate it however you want. Like a previous question asked by Mike was, Craig, can I just do the training part twice and then do the HIIT training, the actual cardio? Or can I, you know what I mean? So you can mix and match these however you like, which will take you right to that 25 to 30 minute suggested window for HIIT training. We're busting out calories, taking small rests in the 15-minute workouts. And we found that even in 20 minutes, because you still got to have a 5-minute warm-up, guys. I mean, there's still a little bit of a stretch. Something has to happen before you start this, and a tiny bit of a stretch and cool down. So now you're into it about 30 minutes anyway. And you know what? It's pulling teeth sometimes to get 30 minutes out of somebody. So that's why ours are set up the way they are.
Yeah. Eric Mullins asked, will David and I be at the Arnold this year? I'm sure both of us will be there. We go every year. We go to the Arnold, the Olympia every year. I'll be traveling internationally a lot this year too.
International Ellis.
SciTech Nutrition is based out of Hungary, so I'll be going. So those of you who are in Australia, things like that, I'll be traveling out that way too. So, I'll be in Europe a couple times and Australia for the Arnold out there. And David and I are going to have our own booth at the LA Fit Expo. So be sure to come out for the LA Fit Expo. I believe that's for February 7th and 8th, or it's the 8th and the 9th. I can't remember.
In LA, it's a great show. It's huge.
Yeah, so it's awesome. Serenity, hello.
Hi, Serenity.
It's great to have you on here. I appreciate your support. You've been
I don't know Serenity.
You've been following me for a while.
Serenity, where's the love?
Hopefully you're following David now. Yeah.
She's not. Definitely not.
She is now, darn it.
Serenity. I'm going to Google stock you, Serenity.
David says, do you guys work out? Or Craig says, you guys work out when you have a cold. I personally don't. I just try to bring my health back.
I don't know about that. What's your definition of a cold?
I bring up the vitamin C. That's my answer.
Ooh, vitamin C, great.
I take some time off.
Did you guys know as you get into the supplement stuff, which is why you should just, sometimes you lean on somebody else if you don't want to do all this research, but you can actually take a lot of vitamin C a day. You buy the bottle, it'll tell you, take one in the morning, take one at night, blah, blah. Or did you know that you can actually take vitamin C and it won't work because you're taking not a whole food vitamin, synthetic. And so you could be pumping it in all day long and it wouldn't work. So if you do have a cold, number one, get on the vitamin C. Make sure you're taking, some good minerals and everything else. But that vitamin C is going to help big time.
Echinacea,
zinc. Get into all the herbs you want, but really make sure you're taking a whole food vitamin C. Now, my answer would be, what's your definition of a cold? Is this the I'm too sick to go to school thing, or is this I don't feel like going? That's a conversation for yourself. Anytime you're sick, I say stay out. I don't want to be around you either. But if you're really wondering if you should go, then I would say go at that point if it's really a wondering, and just stick into a corner out of respect for others that pass the thing around the gym and keep your hands clean and blah 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 blah. But I think if you've thought about it for more than 2 minutes, we'll simplify it like this: if your brain has thought about it for more than 2 minutes, go to the gym. If it is like, man, I don't know about this, then don't go. But whatever you do, don't turn into a wuss.
Yeah. Well, you have the HIIT to HIIT training series on DVD. We talked a little bit about that. As of now, we don't have plans to do that. I would have loved to possibly done something like that to sell at the LA Fit Expo or the Arnold, but we'll look into that. Right now, there aren't plans on doing that.
We get 100 emails, we'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's keep scrolling down here.
Fat burner supplements. What are they, James?
There you go, man. Yeah, I'll let you go on that, man.
I walked into a store once. It was awesome. And the guy says, I was broke. And the guy said, buddy, what do I do? I see all these bottles. I read these magazines. They got all this amazing stuff. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And he handed me a $9 bottle of caffeine. They were pills. So if you don't like coffee, take a little caffeine. Fat burners are just so hard to run the mill on. But just to throw out one, and once again, I'm not attached to any of these companies, but I've taken animal cuts. I like those. Little packets of fun pills work pretty good. And like I said, I've taken the whole gamut, but I'm not going to give shouts to a bunch of people I don't know. So for now, we'll just say that is one that I have used and suggested, and it does do a little bit of adrenal gland help, and it's something you definitely want to cycle on and off of. I also like the idea that the 2 packets, you can take one in the morning. Say you're a coffee person, you could have your coffee, your normal coffee in the morning, then take your fat burner in the afternoon or something. But that's one I've used and liked.
Yeah. Steve and Christy Christensen. I know that guy.
Johnny Muscles himself.
Where do you guys go for motivation? To you, brother. No. You're already at the ideal body that most of us want. What keeps you both going? What keeps me going is setting goals. I mean, it's David and I both have to stay in shape all year round. If we want to be full-time fitness models, then going to work is going to the gym. So 9 to 5, I got to find some time to go to the gym. That's the whole point. If I don't go to the gym, it must have been the weekend because I took a day off. So my attitude is this is my job, so that makes it a little easier on me.
It's a personal answered question, yeah.
And as far as motivation, it's just setting more and more goals. I mean, it's I have bigger goals now than I did when I started. When I started, it was like, man, if I could ever get a cover, that would just be dreamy. Like, that would be awesome. Now my goal is to stay consistent with doing that kind of stuff. And I have to maintain the shape that I'm in, or even better, to keep those goals. Also, it's getting sponsorships, things like that. People that trust me with their company to promote their company, and they're trusting that I'm not going to just slip into some crazy mode and not ever work out a day in my life and not represent their product any better. But then beyond that, it's me thinking about getting my brand on the Ellen DeGeneres show, getting my brand on the Talk, getting my brand, getting my own fitness show. That's why David and I are starting this stuff. Like, we have bigger dreams than just, showing up for a cover shoot or something like that. Not that we don't like that. We love that. It's great. And we love to be able to
can't buy a house from a cover of a magazine, though.
Exactly. So our goals are bigger. We want to be able to inspire and help more and more people. And the way we do that is by getting something on TV, by having, all of you support us and say, hey, these guys are great. I love their videos. I love their website. They should have their own show. And that's what you guys are going to help us with. And we really appreciate that, because there will be times where I'm like, hey, guys, this network is considering us for our own show, and we can inspire and impact more people just like we've done for you.
Please share and like. We don't ever ask for much, and we try to do as much as we can to help.
So that's what inspires me. Those are my future goals, is to be on the big screen helping people with their health and fitness, to have a healthy lifestyle, to be healthy mentally, and that's what it's all about.
I would say, Stephen, specifically, you're a ripped guy. You said, where do you guys go for motivation? And you kind of already have the body that others would want, or that's ideal, or this or that. In my mind, somebody can blow smoke at my butt all day long, tell me I'm great, but I know there's somebody else out there that's better. What's the definition of better? What's your definition of good enough? What's your definition of ideal? And so where I went was out of Hollywood. I went back however many thousand years, and I thought, okay, what was the definitions the Greeks came up with? Your neck the same size as your arms, your calves. There's some basic things that worked for years on what the ideal aesthetic body is to the eye. And so I built to that. Literally measurements. So I'm measuring my arm and making sure it's the size of my neck or a little bit bigger, and my calves and this and that. And that took my anxiety away. And that was very motivating, because you know what? I got my first cover of Muscle Fitness. You'd think that that's good enough. But I've evolved. I'm going to stop going to the gym and just maintain from there. No, I wanted more. But what is more? And then to answer the question is, what is good enough? Yeah. This is a game we all play where we never get to be happy. And so I think I've realized that, and I spent years thinking about it. And I went, you know what? My motivation is going to come from the white picket fence, the nice house, car full of gas, the grocery store visit without looking at the bank account, all paid with fitness. That's my goal. And you know what? It takes a lot more than getting on a cover of a magazine or 50 to do that. So that's where I find my daily motivation. And where I get my smile is knowing that I've very close to the numbers I wanted to be at. Not somebody's opinion, not some judge, not some movie, whatnot, on it or not. Okay, it's literally coming from something written so long ago that I can actually own that it's good enough. Now, if I don't sell, that's fine. if I have a body that literally I've built and I'm happy with it, I'm proud of it, and I'm not ignorant to what others have, and I really came in and showed up, and this guy beat me. Jay's beat me on a world stage. I look good. I look real good, and he beat me. So when you bring your best, and you wouldn't change anything in Hollywood, you know, I'd taken work from him 2 weeks before in Hollywood, and he'd done the same thing to me the week before that. We've been going back and forth for years. But on this day that meant a lot to me, and I did my best, I lost. But I was able to stay empowered and be proud of myself because I know I brought what I needed to bring, and sometimes the cards go your way. So that's, or they don't, you know what I mean? So in the end, just stay empowered by having that specific set of accountability and build to that. Just don't be ignorance on fire and go, I'm never good enough, because that's a crappy place to be.
Yeah. And of course, that's, you know, when it comes to competing, I mean, so many people, it's just, they don't consider the fact people just get mad with whatever the results are. I'm not saying certainly David wasn't. David is the first guy to come and congratulate me after I won. And, but it's all up to the judges that day. If it had been a different set of judges, it could have been a totally different set of results. So
my gun just didn't go off.
Yeah. You just can't be offended by it. You got to keep going. And the reality of it is David was top 4 in the world. I mean, so it still doesn't, when it comes down to it, that's freaking awesome that he was even on that stage in the first place.
You get a cover of a magazine.
Yep.
What made you think it was possible to get 40? You know, Stephen talks about motivating. I came down to California and I'd just gotten inside the magazine. Okay. I didn't even know anybody that had a cover of a magazine at that time. I never met anybody. And I said, man, I'm inside this magazine. Oh my gosh, it was Christmas to me. I met a guy and immediately, he didn't mean to do it. He's a nice guy, but he's like, I've been in 50. I went, oh. I'm in my first 20 minutes in Hollywood. And I went, oh, I guess I didn't set my goal high enough. And if I did set my goal high enough, there's no possible way I could ever not find motivation toward that goal if I am a results-driven person. So,
yeah.
What else we got, buddy? We like to talk too way too much.
We need to hurry. What music do you listen to while you lift? I'll bet Taylor Swift is at the top of your playlist.
Oh, for country and pop, don't you know she transitions well?
Exactly. No, for me, I mean, I listen to Christian worship sometimes, and other times it's like a Tiesto style of groups. So it just depends what mood I'm in. And I just got some brand new Bluetooth beats that have a great bass to them. So I did kind of transition from some of the worship I listened to just be able to test those things out. You know, the DJ stuff. You know, okay. The Tiesto, yeah.
All right.
So
you know, I'm exactly opposite, guys. I'm rip your head off a bear. I'm mad at the world, kill anybody that's in my way type stuff. And you know, I'm into some of the old school stuff like your AC/DC. You know, I'm up that. I came from that age, guys, so don't make fun of me. So and then my big new favorite one is this app called 8 Tracks. It's 8 tracks. And what I started doing is I went in and I started to look up motivation, inspiration. There are 2 tags that you can look at in this specific app. And I'm telling you, mind-blowing, amazing, awesome music, most inspiring stuff. I've got old guys in my ear just telling me I'm a wuss no matter how hard I try. I'm out there at 2 o'clock in the morning, like, and it's not always lifting weights. I got to build this business too. So I'm on my 18th hour at work, and I just want to die, and I'll go inside and do something fun. And I've got this old guy telling me, you're not even trying. So if you're looking for motivational music, try that 8 tracks, inspiration, motivation, and then play through that, and you can save them. And what an experience that is to train with these kinds of words coming at your head.
Mm-hmm. So there were some more questions on there, but it's like we've gone way over what we should. It's about 7:30. So I do just want to do some closing things. You guys got a little bit longer that you can buy our Hurt to Hit 15-minute Hurt to Hit videos. We have a bundle deal right now that's going for $47. Technically, our value that we were putting them at was $97, and we decided instead of that we were going to regularly sell them at $67. So today, while we're in here still yet, you can buy them for $47. Just click on the screen here, and you can find out, you know, you can get them. It looks like, okay, you have an hour and 19 minutes. We have a timer on there. That's awesome. Our web guy rocks. Thank you, Chris. Really, thank you, Chris Walker. Don't
tell anybody, don't steal it.
Whoa. So you guys have a little bit longer. You can buy them. Again, I do, I want you guys to continue to follow us on our social networks. You can find me on Facebook. We got something going on here.
That's 8 tracks. That's back to 1 minute ago.
Yep. You can find us on our social networks. James Ellis Fitness is my Facebook page.
I spell Ellis.
ELLIS.
Okay.
ELLIS. Twitter at James Ellis 3. Instagram at James Ellis Fit. And then what else do we got? We got some other stuff out there, right? Is there some other networks? Anyway, yeah, Google Plus is James Ellis 3, and YouTube is James Ellis 3. This will be on YouTube, as I said earlier. And so check that out. David and I are super amped. What are your social work networks?
David Kimmerle, everything. DAVIDKIMMERLE. That's KIMMERLE. Once again, that's KIMMERLE. Hashtag or @ sign. You can find me on any of the whatever kind of social networks there are these days.
Yeah. So keep up with us. Continue to support us. We really appreciate that. We have big plans for the future. We probably will, if you for some reason can't afford to buy these right now, I'm sure that we're going to discuss whether we're going to run a Christmas deal or a New Year's deal or whatever.
We're not dealers.
Yeah, we're not dealers, but we may end up doing something. We'll see. And but yeah, if you can make it to the LA Fit Expo, we'd love to see you there. We're going to have our own booth. Yep. We will be looking probably to start maybe a little company of our own together, other than just these workout bands. So you might see something cool at the LA Fit Expo if you make it there, and if you don't make it there, you'll learn some stuff that we're working on and we're really excited about. So just keep up with us, continue to support us. You can help our dreams to come true as well. Like we're trying to help you with your fitness and everything, your fitness goals and dreams. You can help us to keep that stuff coming. So we appreciate you watching our videos on YouTube, liking the stuff on our Facebook pages, Twitter, Instagram, all that.
And not to be redundant, guys.
Yeah.
I think some people don't understand that when you actually hit a like or a share and a like and a comment, that makes Facebook like us. And at a certain point, a lot of this is an effort to create revenue, and we will create less revenue without the likes, the shares, and the comments. So if you are a fan, and I've got, even family members didn't know that if they just hit like, that's better for me than just staring at it. And we're not asking for you to like things you don't like, but if you do like it or feel like sharing it around the fence, please do. Please just do it. And then for those of anybody that's my husband doesn't want me looking at, guys, we're a professional. We are both good guys. We're not in any way weird. I think we built up our careers high enough to where you can like our stuff and share it, and it's not a weird thing, right? Like we're just fitness guys.
And at that is a good point. When David and I started working together, we decided to not be shirtless in our videos, where people are going to be training in the living room to our hit band workouts. The reason for that is because we realize that there are women that are married out there. There are women that are in serious boyfriend relationships and things like that. And we want to, we do, like you just said, we respect that. And we don't want you to feel like you're doing something wrong by working out to us, or your guy might get mad at you because you're working out to two shirtless guys. We're more than likely, that's the plan, is that all of our videos, we're gonna keep our shirts on.
There's some conservative nature with us, right?
Exactly. So,
I realized this a long time ago when my mom was, bless her soul, she was at work and she's looking at her son. Like I sent her something and then she pops up, she's looking at me and she calls me up and says, so-and-so came walking around the corner and doesn't know you're my son. And my mom is the sweetest, most conservative, really nice lady. She's not trying to have that perception of her. And I laughed. Hell, I had a hard time holding on to the phone. I'm like, mother. So thus the perception is people never know, and rather than explain, we're just good conservative guys trying to show you how to build muscle. We'll show you the muscles if we need to. And other than that, just know that they're working. You don't got to see them to know they're working.
Yep. All right. A couple last things. I want to say hi to Dan Bright. He said hello.
Hi, Dan Bright.
He said give a kiss to Princess Dan. This is my old roommate.
Dude, you looked right at me when you said that. I was so worried. I've known you a lot of years and you've never said that. My buddy called me and told me to kiss, and I was like, oh, where's this going?
You remember
Here
Dan?
you go.
You remember Dan, right?
Yes, I do. Oh, gosh.
So, and I also
really
want to
didn't think it was
say
going
hello
that way,
to
but I got scared.
Jesse Estrada. We love Jesse.
Yes, we do. Jesse's been a man a long time.
Yep. So, but yeah, we appreciate all of you in here, and I apologize if we didn't say your name. Serenity, we said. Yeah, I think we said pretty much everybody's names, and we appreciate you guys being here. I apologize we didn't get to all the answers, but we will do this again.
Yep.
And it'll probably be after the holidays, so I'm getting ready to fly home.
And the odds of us doing it again are going to depend on the emails we get, the likes, the shares, the comments, any follow-up stuff. We don't know how far this is going to go. Obviously this is our first one, so Any suggestions, anything like that you guys would like to see in some of the videos? A little less of us, a little more information, less information, a little more of us, whatever you want. If Princess ruined it or if you loved it, just let us know, and that's a little bit more encouraging to sit down and spend an afternoon or an evening like this with y'all.
Yeah. Princess is yawning. I think that means it's
Princess, are you over this?
Yeah. She's over it. If you're lucky, Princess will be in the next video too, by the way.
Closing words, anything?
Closing words, keep at it in your fitness, set those goals, keep it up. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's consistency. And we want to see you guys have the best year ever next year. So we want to be able to keep you motivated and keep you accountable. And that's what we do in our videos too. So if you guys decide you want to get those, we have motivational speaking at the end where we talk it up and try to motivate you and encourage you to not get in the fridge at 3 o'clock in the morning. You scared the dog.
I scared myself.
So just keep that fit, healthy lifestyle. And we love you guys and we appreciate your support.
Have faith in how far you've come, guys, and be proud of how far you can go.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
See you guys.